the end of summer, and so that means you guys are probably coming back from vacation, and you guys are probably nice and tan, or if you're not into tanning, you're nice and pale like me. And most of you guys probably have seen people doing different types of tanning, whether it be artificial or natural. And I wanted to compare different types of tanning today in my episode. So let's talk about natural tanning first. When we go outside, we're going to be exposed to different types of radiation, including UV, which means ultraviolet, and IR, which is infrared. The type of radiation that's responsible for causing tanning, from what scientists know so far, is UVA radiation. So our skin has these types of cells called melanocytes, which are responsible for creating pigment and color within your skin. When you go outside and you're not necessarily protected, if you're not wearing a shirt, or if you're wearing a thin shirt like a gauzy linen shirt, or if you're not wearing sunscreen, or if you're out in the sun too long, you'll notice that you'll either be getting a burn or darkened, or you might burn and darken depending on what kind of skin type you have. When you have the sun beaming down on your skin, you have certain types of skin cells called melanocytes that are going to be affected by this. So the melanocytes, what happens is that the UVA rays will oxidize melanin, and then when the melanin, which is responsible for creating skin pigment, is oxidized, it's going to affect the amount of melanocytes, which are the color cells, activity. So what happens is that more melanin is going to be produced, and then once you get deeper in the skin, you're producing more melanin granules. And once they get produced, they go up towards the top of the skin, and there are certain things called keratinocytes, which protect your skin. So that's going to be on top to try and protect your skin from being damaged by the sun. So your skin, what happens is that the darkness is actually a remedy for the sun's damage, trying to protect you from that. And so the cycle continues and continues until you become dark, or unfortunately, if you're not careful, it can lead to some disastrous activities. Then we also have the other option of tanning by using an artificial tanner. And I know you guys might have seen that sometimes, where people might have looked like they dived into a bag of Cheetos or something if they've done it wrong. Well, I wanted to talk about the reaction that goes on there, and that's actually called, it's very similar to the Maillard reaction. The most common ingredient that's used in a sunless tanner is called dihydroxyacetone, and dihydroxyacetone basically undergoes something very similar, in which that it reacts with the skin's natural amino acids. And your amino acids are the building blocks of protein. Almost everything has an amino acid. So the dihydroxyacetone will react on the surface with the skin's natural amino acids. And it doesn't necessarily have to have a temperature effect, but this reaction causes a browning effect, so you can look darker. This is a temporary effect because it only happens on the surface. And now, earlier I mentioned the Maillard reaction, and most of you guys are probably unfamiliar with this reaction. So a general overview of this reaction, it happens when you have an amino acid, which I mentioned before, the building blocks of protein, sugar, and heat, and those three all react with one another, and that causes a natural type of browning. You might have not heard of this reaction, but I'm sure if you guys are meat eaters, or if you guys have eaten anything that's been caramelized, you guys have definitely seen this. This is really common in beef cooking. So it's interesting when you think about tanning, it's almost like cooking your skin, becoming a little bit darker than your natural color. Anyways, that was for our science show for this week, and let me know if you guys have any questions.